42-year-old mom of three arrested for making threats to Blue Cross Blue Shield over a rejected medical claim. Here is some of the reporting about it.
The nature of the threats, we would also be asking for GPS with house arrest conditions to protect the community.
With her head in her hands, Brianna Boston learned she would be held in jail on $100,000 bond. The Polk County judge adding the bond was appropriate given the, quote, status of our country.
It's not like she's a child. She's 42 years old, so we're not dealing with a child here. She should certainly know better.
Lakeland Police Chief.
Just before we get into it, I am doing another react to Francesca Fiorentini. I have not watched this beforehand. I will do more with just her, but this one's going to have a couple other dudes on there. I'm interested in her. It's not on any beef. She's from the left. Francesca Fiorentini's on the left, but I really enjoy the content. The topic is going to be healthcare again. They're going to probably talk about Luigi, of course. And this woman here, there was some type of threat that happened. Let's go. This is the Bituation Room. Francesca Fiorentini. Let's see what happened here.
Sam Taylor says his department was contacted by the FBI Tuesday. Authorities say in a recorded phone call about a denied insurance claim, Boston told a Blue Cross Blue Shield employee, quote, delay, deny, depose. You people are next, end quote. The language matches the words police say were written on the shell casings found at the United Healthcare CEO's murder scene in New York City.
We will take this very seriously, and we will put you in jail if you do something like this. It is not a joke.
According to Boston's affidavit, the mother of three told police she did not own firearms and was not a danger to anyone. But she added, healthcare companies played games and deserved karma because they are evil.
Okay, so I could not be more incensed by this story. Mother of three gets a denied claim in moments of exasperation, says you people are next, and $100,000 bond. I feel like, again, we are in a very perilous moment of being targets, even for discussing these kinds of things. Our social media being monitored. I
tend to agree with Francesca Fiorentini here, but I want to go through a little bit of the news here. This is the first time I've never seen it before, so I'm absorbing the information live. To repeat the incident, we had Brianna Boston, a 42-year-old woman from Lakeland, Florida, was arrested on December 10th after making concerning statements during a phone call with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've been involved in situations like this before. And what I will do, I've had someone, I don't work for an insurance company, but I've had someone on my phone before who has said something in anger. And what I do is, I don't have it often, probably in my whole life it's happened maybe 1 to 3 times. And this is over 20 years. I typically will say, hey, that's a pretty serious thing. I know things are crazy right now. I just want to make sure we agree you don't really mean that. I don't blame you for being upset, but I just want to make sure we take that off the table so we don't have to call the authorities or do anything else. If they don't take that opportunity to backtrack, then you get effed, period. Because at some point, whoever you're talking to will be liable if something happens down the road. But I think it's very important to give that opportunity to say, I even say, I don't think you meant it like that, just to really make sure. Because then if you come back and say, yes, I did, rap, whatever you need to do to call authorities, whatever, because I need to cover my ass. And what the authorities do is separate. So I'm just showing you the process. That doesn't mean I necessarily believe the authorities should be doing a $100,000 bond. I'm just telling you that's the progression. Let's keep going. She reportedly had her medical insurance claims denied by Blue Cross Blue Shield during a recorded call with the company. And I'm not even doing this to knock insurance companies. To me, my concern is with the people who are supposed to represent us, the people. How are they handling it? I'm not anti-insurance company. I am anti-public servants not acting like public servants. So she ended the conversation by saying, and this has become kind of internet zeitgeist. It's kind of a part of the culture whether you think it's good or not, she says the 3 words. I don't even want to say it because I don't want people to try to misconstrue me with the 3 Ds, DDD. Same thing that the Luigi allegedly put on the casings. And then she said, "You people are next." And then it looks like she hung up, is what it sounds like. That's not a good idea. I'm not saying I agree with the 100,000 bond, but I'm just going to say we have to all agree. I understand life is tough. I understand this has become kind of just, we laugh about people being unlived or whatever, which you should be able to. But when you do that, problematic. The statement raised immediate alarm due to a similarity to phrases associated with the high-profile case. The block is hot. Ain't the time for that. Not smart. And I think Francesca would agree with that. They, like I said, they matched the etchings on the casing. Following the call, Boston received an immediate visit from Lakeland police officers at her home. She admitted to using the phrase, "You do that, you're going to get somebody coming to..." It's going to happen. Just understand that. Whether you agree with it or not, it's going to happen real quick. She said she did so because it's what is in the news right now. Well, the first thing she should do is say, "I need to get a lawyer." That's the first thing she needs to do. I don't know if she did or not, but if she's saying that phrase, she obviously didn't do. She didn't get the lawyer, or she didn't shut up after she got the lawyer. Despite not owning a weapon, Boston was charged with making threats to conduct a mass incident. Sounds like complete garbage to me. I don't blame anyone who looks at this and says, "This sounds like complete garbage to me," because you know what it sounds like to me? Complete garbage. Let's get back to Francesca. Let's get back to her take on this. And I think I largely agree with her on this, but it's a good point of discussion. It's not even where I thought the conversation was going to go. Let's do it.
$1,000 bond. I feel like, again, we are in a very perilous moment of being targets, even for discussing these kinds of things. Our social media being monitored. We know which side the tech billionaires are on, and we know it's not just like physical state violence, but I mean, this is physical state violence. This is how the state will operate should you get out of line and say something like this. And look, guys, I was talking about on Wednesday, experience I had. I went into my doctor's appointment and they said, "Oh, guess what? We've got a $300 concierge fee we're charging annually." And I said, "Y'all can go fuck yourself." I didn't say you can fuck yourself, but I was like, bye. I'm not going to, I'm going to go somewhere else. And I had this appointment for six months. I can't afford a $300 annual fee. I pay $600 a month for healthcare. Like that's enough. Plus copay, whatever. What if I had said something a little more menacing, a little more angrier? I had been on the phone. I don't know this woman, Brianna's situation. I don't know what medical claims she had denied, but she could have been staring down and is staring down bankruptcy, illness, whatever. And she gets arrested.
Yeah, it doesn't look good to me. It doesn't look like she's a credible threat from just the very basic information I have. And it looks like a judge that's grandstanding. That's what it looks like to me.
And what's the sheriff going to do? Is he going to arrest everybody, 60% of Facebook users for what? For what? For commenting? It's
that is the next step. So, guys, you on the left and wherever I'm at, I got no buddies. I have no allies. I've crashed out on MAGA. I've crashed out. I mean, other than probably Nick. That's the only group that I have not crashed out on, really. I've kind of crashed out on the libertarians. I mean, I still like Comic Dave Smith, still love Liberty, Robbie the Fire Bernstein, all of them. Still love them, but I'm just saying I kind of crashed out on them, saying that, not them, but the leftist libertarians, not the Mises Caucus. But I've crashed out, so but I crashed out on the Jays though, and I don't know how they feel about that. So I've crashed out on the Christians who define Christianity by your faith in a country. That is anti-Christ. That is heathenism. That is absolutely disgusting for Christians to be defining other people's faith based on their allegiance to a country. That is not what Christianity is. So I've crashed out on them. I've crashed out on MAGA, crashed out on the left, crashed out on all kinds of identity groups. I'm out here with nobody, to be honest with you. Middle MAGA never made more sense than it does now. And it doesn't mean moderate, that's for sure. So my point is, why are we arguing about stupid ish like J6 when you actually should be on the side of J6ers? We both have concerns about this free speech. We both have concerns about healthcare. And for some reason, we have beef. And I'm just saying that hypothetically, like she doesn't know me, obviously. So let's get back to the clip.
It's kind of incredible.
For making a silly meme about Luigi?
Yeah, no prior convictions, is not a gun owner. She's speaking to somebody she doesn't know and she can't see in another state. And the charge was threatening a mass murder. I mean, even the text of what she says implies that, I imagine somebody's going to get you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even there isn't any subject in the sentence, is there? Like, she's not talking about like what she's going to do. It's incredible. It's incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
Up to 650,000 Americans have to file for medical bankruptcy every year. Just start there. I can't imagine. I am a person in a situation where I'm a tragedy away from that, as a lot of my friends are. There are probably people, and we can definitely tell the people who are about to run the healthcare agencies, they'll never have to worry about that. They just won't. They have the money, they have the resources. But for most Americans,
I'm blessed right now. I've got coverage. So it's not a personal thing. I mean, it is personal where I could lose it at any second. But it's just about what's right. What do I believe? It's like everything else I talk about. I wasn't there at J6, but I could have been. Right now, I can pay my medical bills, or I have some coverage, so they're not that large. And even if I do have some, I can pay them. But that's not the point. So let's get back to it. I agree with them. It was another great segment. I'm going to do a lot of reactions to her. I really like this.
we are not in that situation. And I have family members going through harrowing situations with cancer right now. I'm a cancer survivor. And so I can imagine, I have the agency to imagine the frustration that she was going through at the moment. And that was what was in her head. It's absolutely horrible. And to me, it's just, and it's not surprising it happened in Florida, but it's a state,
Sure.
and this state just trying to lock it down right away to say no one else get out of line. And that's really scary.
Yep.
It's also going to negatively impact, people who are more, prone in regions. I mean, being from New Jersey, Derek, I have no idea what you would say over the phone, but it's like people say things, and.
Oh my God. And especially, I mean, the poor, I do feel for the people who.
It'd be different. I don't have a problem with them knocking. She shouldn't have said it then hung up, because that didn't give the person on the phone a chance to say, you probably didn't really mean that. Just, I need to hear you confirm that over the phone, or I'm going to call somebody. And even then you still probably have to tell somebody, but you at least gave them a chance. I don't have a problem with them knocking. You said that you can get wrecked. My concern is more with you went there, you don't have anything justifying it. What's going on? Let's get back to the clip.
Are, the little button pushers and the bureaucrats and the mid-level folks who have to deal with and have, their prerogative is to deny you your claim. They're not at fault here, but haven't we all literally maybe my top worst 5 moments? One of them is definitely on the phone with some kind of customer support and some kind of bureaucrat screaming at them. And again, these incidents happen all of the time. They could be little or they could be big. But for me, I was just saying I skipped the pap smear the other day. So I guess you know what I mean? How many people I will get I'm fine, but it's that could be early cancer detection. There are so many ways that we are prohibited from even utilizing the healthcare that we do pay for, like this woman paying for it. And it's true 1984 shit, when this kind of stuff happens. And so the other thing, lastly, before I could get to you guys, is when a news outlet says like, oh, like deny, depose, and whatever the hell else, right? I forgot the other one. Like
Delay.
deny, delay, depose. Thank you. That's not accurate reporting to say they were just written on the shells of the gunman. The accurate reporting is that is a strategy employed by the private healthcare industry to deny claims to its clients.
Fair.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, because that's why they were on there. I'm not justifying anything or anything like that. Yeah, but that's fair for her to say, because why did he write them on there? They're conveniently not really talking about that.
And I flagged this earlier that my insurer is United Healthcare.
And I'm going to end with my take on why. I'm going to end with my take on the right.
It's through my wife's employer. Our rate is going up $120 a month next year. We get no additional benefits for that price.
Yep.
And I don't know your situation, but like 50% of women around the world, my wife has dense breast tissue. And so when she turned 40 2 years ago, when she started getting screenings, they would not cover screenings because of the dense breast tissue. So the initial pass here. So now every year when August rolls around, we have to look at our finances and say, okay, which level of testing to make sure you don't have cancer can we afford this year? Because the copay on top of what we already pay, $700 plus a month for both of us.
So the healthcare is expensive, even when you're covered through your employer. You've got your premium, which he's talking about the $700 a month. If you have a family, this thing is a lot. They're taking $300 out your paycheck. If you have the premium plan, they could be taking. I've seen up to $1,000 per paycheck. So you're $2,000 a month. That's a primo plan. But they're taking in a family. You're taking that out of your paycheck. Then on top of that, when you go, you have co-pays where you just pay your $50, $40, whatever. Then on top of that, you have the bills. So you have your deductible. So if you get a $4,000 bill, your deductible is $2,000. You still got to pay the $2,000. Then after the $2,000, it's not 100% on many plans. You're paying 20% of that $2,000 or anything after that. But then there's a max for the year, the out-of-pocket max. That's how it's broken down, and that's for people who are covered through their insurer. Some people are going to the market for the Affordable Care Act, which is, I think, from what I've seen, more expensive than the insurers. And then now you have people who aren't covered at all. So that's where the mess is. But the basic healthcare coverage that I'm talking about to start with probably wouldn't get into a lot of the things they're talking about. It'd be starting out with some basic levels and then hopefully build on that. But what I need to hear from them and everybody else is we got to cut money from the defense spending. We got to cut money elsewhere. We can't be just saying, oh, everybody gets healthcare. We got to cut money from we're spending $1 trillion on national defense. There's drones flying over New York and New Jersey, and nobody knows what the hell's going on. We need to cut money. We should be on the same team. Doesn't matter if I wear MAGA or whatever else. Cut the nonsense. Cut the transformer talk. Unless you're talking about Prime Animations. I'm talking about the male to female transformers. Cut that nonsense. That doesn't mean anything. This is a substantive conversation.
Is absurd. So again, like this is the situation we're in. And one of the things about our podcast is we have a lot of international listeners and they rubberneck what happens at the American healthcare system so hard because they're just like, how do you do this to your citizens?
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already.
So this is it. Thank you for that excellent clip, Francesca Fiorentini. I always mess up her name. But my message is for the right. Where is the right in this conversation? I don't understand why the right is so scared of the healthcare conversation. No matter where you land on it, it's a conversation that needs to be had. There's a conversation that needs to be done. I'm not saying you have to have the same take I have on it. What I'm saying is it should be a conversation. On this woman here, this the conversation. This isn't about the CEO. I don't care what you think about the CEO. For some weird reason, people on the right were very weird reason people on the right were kind of defending the CEO or people that I would normally kind of see eye to eye on certain things. We're defending the CEO basically or saying that it shouldn't have. Who cares? I don't care about that. Why would I care about that? Why wouldn't you care? If you care about the CEO, why wouldn't you care about somebody who just lost their mind just because they're not MAGA or you don't know if they're MAGA or not or or on your political side or not. She lost her cool. She didn't. We have free speech in this country. Is this a violation of the First Amendment? I don't think so. I don't have a problem with them investigating to see if it was, but there's no violation here. So I don't want to hear anything. You let me know. This is After Show Carnage featuring on Middle MAGA. Maybe I'll talk about the more kind of heated stuff on the Middle MAGA. I don't know. We'll see what I'll do, man. But I'm doing a lot of After Show Carnage reacts. Let me know what you think.
According to the latest whispers, this Florida mom's outburst against her insurer is cranking up more tension than a midnight thriller. Is she just lashing out at red tape, or did she hit a nerve lurking under all those policy pages? Sound off in our Discord or unleash your verdict in the comments. This is After Show Carnage.